You recently wrote an editorial titled, "Believes Marriage Between Close Family Members Should Be Discouraged."
Yes, and I believe strongly in what I wrote there.
Would you say that is your main idea about the editorial is cousins' marriages is the most types of transmission of bad genes?
Yes, all the research suggests that they are correct.
I think it is somewhat strange.
Strange? What makes you feel that it's strange?
Many families in the Arab world don't take from outside the family. They just keep their marriages inside the family only.
Yes, I know that, but after that they suffer because of their children.
Can you explain what do you mean by they suffer because of their children?
Sure. I mean that their children become disabled in many ways. Some of them visually disabled, hearing disabled, and disabled phonetic, etc.
In your second argument, you said that cousin marriages are arranged by families who want to keep wealth and property in the family. How does this happening?
Well, it's happening since they are a child. Their families are planning for this marriages, and after that they shouldn't say anything either. They agree.
How does babies become sick from cousins' marriages?
If the parents of the babies have the same grandparent, then the babies will inherit it with the same bad copy, and that bring for them diseases, and a lot of them become disabilities.
Now I understand how the babies become sick from cousins' marriages. What do you think is the main issue in endogamy?
The main issue is that it will produce generations have a lot of disabilities.
What do you mean by keep wealth and property in the family?
A lot of families these days become scared on their wealth and property from lose or to go to someone stranger. They think about the money and who will inherit who.
Oh my God. Why do they do that?
Yes. People only think of the money. They do not care about what will happen later.
Does your article assume that endogamy is always a bad thing?
Yes, it does. And I think that assumption is clearly true.
How can you verify your assumption that endogamy is always bad?
Studies indicated that the 33% of all the children born with genetic defects.
That a huge number, really?
Yes, I know.
Well, could you explain your reason to us about against the endogamy?
I am opposed to intermarriage because it causes a lot of diseases in the generations that will result from endogamy. And also we can't forget that it causes many problems between the families.
What do you mean by the endogamy causes many problems between the families?
What I mean that if there is a problem between the couple and the family, intervention here become a problem not only between spouses but becomes among the whole family.
What is a counter-argument to you about the endogamy?
If the parents of the babies have the same grandparent, then the babies will inherit it with the same bad copy, and that bring for them diseases, and a lot of them become disabilities.
Okay, could you tell me what are the strengths and weaknesses of your view?
Yes, sure. I think the strengths that if you take from inside your family, maybe he or she will maintain of you because you are from her family. The weakness that the endogamy bring a lot of diseases to a children who will come after this endogamy happening.
But do you think people who doing that will listen to anybody while they were giving them an advice?
I know it's something difficult for families who follow their customs and traditions, but they should think about future generations.
There is a hospitals who do medical examination of marriage advising who want to marry if there is the probability of infecting their children with different disabilities?
Yes, certainly. After the spread of many diseases in recent times, has hospitals gives awareness to those who are on the verge of marriage to relatives and awareness them about the dangers of endogamy, but the final choice to them, sure.
Do you think that there are people who know about the seriousness of marriage relatives and they ignore it and do that?
Yes, sure. There's a lot of families like this.
What effect would it have on the world if the endogamy happened?
If inbreeding spread around the world, many diseases will increase and a proportion of disabled people become high.
Why do you think this topic or question important?
This topic is telling people to avoid endogamy and what it can produce problems and diseases that harm the health.
Do you think people will start to avoid endogamy or they will just ignore it like any problem?
Good question. People who care about themselves and about their children's future, maybe they will start to avoid it. But people who are selfish, they will not care or even think about it. They only think about their wealth and property.
I will make awareness in the college.
Great idea.
Thank you for coming and thank you for answering all my questions without being bored.
You're welcome. Sure. Anytime. I hope that you got a useful information, and I hope also people start to care about themselves and their future children.